Alright, so hi, a pleasant morning to all of you guys. So I am Jericho Trinidad of BTVTED 1K. Alright, so now I am here to explain you the last chapter of our topic in ethics. So it will be you as a moral agent or moral agents. Okay. Alright, so to start these things first, okay. So let us first know what is the meaning of moral agent or moral agents. Okay, so based on Google, so often checking here, so a moral agent is any person or collective entity with the capacity to exercise moral agency. Okay, so it is suggested that rational thought and deliberation are prerequisite skills for any agent. In this way, moral agents can discern between right and wrong and be held accountable for the consequences of their actions. Okay, and the moral agency talked about here is a moral agency is an individual's ability to make moral judgments based on some notion of right and wrong, like the same meaning of other one, are to be held accountable for these actions. So a moral agent is being who is capable of acting with reference to right and wrong. So honestly, hindi ko pa nababasa lahat ng kabuuan ng chapter. So pero sa base sa pagkakaintindi natin. So sa madaling salita, ito yung taong may kakayahang makapag-decide na tama o mali, malaman kung ano yung tama o mali, or kaya niyang mag-base ng judgment or gano'n. Then let's explore this one. Okay? Alright. So after this one, there's a certain attributes or factors or on this one. So as a moral agency, so the first one is the physical or our capability of doing and acting. Okay, so it's more an action. So it our physicalities, like how our physical body capable of on doing it or on acting out it. Parang nasa katawan mo na yan. Yung ganun yung meaning, like for me. Okay. And the other one is the interpersonal. Okay, so the interpersonal is how we socialize with other people. Okay, so maybe it has for me it has on the interpersonal as a moral agents, or dugtong lang natin as a moral agents, how we moral judge, or how we do the things right and wrong, based on how we socialize to others. Okay, all right. And then third one is the societal. So the community we live in or our culture. Okay, so it depicts the community we live in and how we react on the community that we live, or our surroundings. Okay, and in our culture. Okay, and then for me there's some idea na it's like how we deals it, or kung tama ba yung kultura natin. So it's no for sorry just to confirm, walang maling kultura. So it's on the cultures, diba? Syempre sa origin, or how we live on your life, how we live your life, and the arts or your culture of your ancestors. And historical for and the last one is historical, the past that happened to the world and prior to the era we live in now. Okay, so it's like yes, the past that happened to the world and prior to the era we live now, or in our generation. So maybe it's some factor that as a moral agents you historically reacts, or how you initiate yourself, or your how you yourself like how you reacts on that particular matter on historically. Yes. Okay, moving on. So there is a level of as a moral agent. So the level one, and also on the level one there is some low level brackets as I see here in the PowerPoint. So it will be stage 1, stage 2. Okay, so every level, so it will be the level 1, the free conventional. Okay, so the level 1 free conventional, for the stage 1, it means for the stage 1 stated here, when moral reasoning is based on its good or bad. Okay, so it's parang like a very low level or free conventional. For me, okay, it's just a low level. Oh, yung moral reasoning mo, or your how you deals with it with your moral reason is based on it's good or bad. Okay, ganun lang simple, when it's good or bad. Okay? And then the stage 2, as I stated here, when reasoning makes you choose that which brings you pleasure. Okay? Parang, oh, okay, so, yung reasoning na yun makes you choose the, kung kunyari, even it's right or wrong. For me, as I explained, on my own perspective, guys, so it will be when reasoning makes you choose that which brings you pleasure. Okay, on this stage 2, parang pipiliin mo na lang yung reason mo or yung reason mo kung paano ka sumasaya. Malam mo, may mga tao, like for me, example, ito, konting sharing lang, guys. Okay, ako dumating sa punto na hindi sa pangit yung ugali ko, parang gusto kong, I'd like to make some argument. Like, ang sarap makipag-away. Not particularly na gusto mong maliitin yung tao, but to give you, to flesh out na kung kaano ba yung capabilities mo on explaining yourself, di ba? Parang kasi since I was in junior high school, like, more on debate, more on discussions, and also something like that. And then, it shows me how effective my reasoning, kung gaano ka galing, like gaano ka bilis magbigay ng reason out, and then napaka something enjoyable. Yun, parang basta ang sarap sa pakiramdam na hindi naman sa natatalo mo sila or something. You're proving yourself. Parang pinoprove mo lang sa sarili mo, not competing with others. Na napoprove mo lang sa sarili mo na you can explain, you can give whatever ideas out, and also move it in a particular sequences, and or pattern it in a particular sequences, and then boom, boom. Basta yan. Okay. Alright, so, that is the stage 2. So, when reasoning makes you choose that which brings you pleasure. Okay, nagre-reason out ka, and yun yung pinipili mo kung anong mas nakakabuti sa, or ano yung nakakasaya sa'yo. Oo, nagbibigay sa'yo ng pleasure. Okay? Alright, and the level 2, so the level 2 is the conventional. So, on stage 3, when one's reasoning is confirming to the values of one's immediate group. So, ito yung, itong level, yung stage na to, when one's reasoning is confirming to the values of one's immediate group. Parang, kung nagko-confirm na yung decision mo, or yung reasoning mo is confirming to the values of an immediate group, or kung paano ka paano ito makaka-apekto sa isang group, one's immediate group, or confirming to the values, or kung ano yung kahalaga nung grupo na, or yung surroundings na inaan. Okay, and the next one is the stage 4. So, one's reasoning is set to comply the standard of the society, such as in rules and law. So, syempre, itong stage 4 na to, yung reason na to is one's reasoning to set to comply to the standard of the society. We all know that, yes, we're living here in the Philippines, and also a country always should have a law. So, and yun, sumusunod lang tayo. Like for example, me as an individual, like me on my riding a motorcycle. Syempre, ako wala pang license, and ano pa lang ako, fixing my for my student license, or driving student driver license. And then ayun, it takes time to reach that one. Sobrang for me, napakalaking tulong na you have the process of getting all this one. Like, for example, napakasaya kasi na student license, you will know, or kasi syempre kailangan niya na may theoretical driving course ka. So, on theoretical driving course, it simply explain, or it simply give you the factor, or parang yung things na dapat mong sundin sa daan, na i-explain ng sunod-sunod, or na-explain talaga lang maayos kung ano yung mga dapat mong gawin to avoid accident. Rules, and for me, in rules and law is para hindi ka makagawa ng masama, para sa kapakanan natin, syempre, di ba? Literally, di ba? And then, ayun, back to sa topic na yun, like, yung reasoning ko na yun is to comply the standard. Nagko-comply ako dun sa standard kasi anytime pwede ako mag-drive. Pwede ako, I can drive on wherever I want to go. Pero ang problema, di ba, hindi ka yung reason mo is hindi ka, mahuhuli ka. Magkano yun? Sa 15,000 or sa 5,000 na multa? Para ka lang makapag-comply dun sa law na yun, na bawal syempre yung walang driving license, so syempre yung reasoning out mo is, if fix mo yun, syempre mag-aano ka, mag, magkukuha ka ng driving license. Okay, so it's like, for me, aside from reasoning out, parang ito lang yung ano mo yung reaction mo doon sa reaction doon sa binibigay na rules and law doon sa surroundings or sa environment on here in our country. Okay? So that is the stage 4. Reasoning, once reasoning is set to, or kung etong taong to ay, or as an individual, reasoning is set to comply the standard of the society. Ito yung standard ng society as in rules and law, such as, okay? Alright? And stage 5, so the individual now acts based on the social contract, which is an agreement between two individuals. Okay, so for me, so doon sa pagkakaintindi ko dito, yung reasoning niya naman is naka-base na sa partner niya o sa social contract. Like for example, ito, yung parang pinag-usapan, sa madaling salita, for me so as pagkakaintindi ko dito is based on the social contract. Like for example, here in our society, we must attend to the continuous cleanup drive on our streets to declog all the canals and sewage system here in our community, kahit na feeling ko non-progressive or hindi masyadong effective, since siguro yung ibang tao dito hindi moral agent, so okay, so it's like hindi nagiging effective since a very few of people attend on that specific program. Okay, so parang it's a big factor, right? Like tatlo or dalawa maglilinis, it's not clean up drive anyway. So friends, the highest the individual acts based on the social contract. Like for example, on your on your girlfriend, like for example on your girlfriend, di ba? Like yung decision mo, yung reasoning out mo is depende lang doon sa kasama mo. Like sa girlfriend mo, yung reasoning out mo dito sa stage 5 is yung ganito na to, nagkaka-agreement, nakakapag-social nag-act ka na on social contract, so which is nag-bid based on agreement. Like, kung ano yung pinag-usapan nyo, ano yung pinagplanuhan nyo, ano nga ba yung meron sa in-between sa inyo, dun ka na nagre-react or dun ka na nagre-reason out. So, meron ka na ganito katangian. Okay? Alright, so for the stage 6, so the highest of them all. Okay. Ito na yung pinaka mataas na level. Alright? Okay, so okay. So the stage 6, the highest of them all, is a moral reasoning based on universal ethical principles. A universal ethical principle like respect and justice, that one is personally internalized. Okay? Alright, so the highest of them all is moral reasoning based on the universal ethical principles like respect and justice, that one is personally internalized. Okay? So, ito yung reasoning out na to, sa madaling salita, yung nagbe-base ka na sa norms. No, not norms significantly. It's like nagbe-base ka na kung ano yung universal ethical judgment, like avoiding the taboos on the culture, 'di ba? Yung nire-respect mo na yung culture na yon, na hindi mo na ginagawa yung mga hindi ka na nag-open ng taboo topics or taboo actions. Like for example, lately, ito as to share this one. May unethical to yung sa Facebook kasi may nag-post sa TikTok, ito na share ko, na nakita ko sa Facebook na mag-share sa TikTok na it shows the pictures of it's like female and male reproductive system. Science ba biology yung physical science tuloy. Yung biological science, yung about sa human body, lecture ng human body reproductive system, yung kinemaluso sa grade 4. Parang ganun yung topic sa grade 4. And then yung post niya, parang yung post niya doon sa na yun, siguro out of nowhere, syempre Pinoy eh. Nagpo-post sa TikTok. Then nakita yung module niya, pinicturean niya. So nakalagay, yung mga picture ng module, may mga tanong, may mga parts, naka-label naman ang maayos, naka-label naman, naka-diagram, kunyari, sa male parts, nakikita mo yung urethra, yung testes, basta yung penis, yung mismo yung scrotum, yung image lang, yung parang 2D image na black and white, na naka-diagram lang talaga, drawing lang talaga. And then yung sa female part naman, yung ganun, yung vagina, yung vaginal enter, yung clitoris, nakita yung naka-label lang maayos. So it's scientifically explained, and then maayos naman yung figure, pero nakalagay doon sa post niya. Or sumikat to, by the way. Naging uso to pa ginawang memes like module yun eh, di ba? It's like ang nakalagay sa caption niya, module ba to? Di ba? Module ba to? Di ba parang di pagkakaintindi ng tao, ba't parang nagiging tabu yung mga ganong topics? Ba't nagiging parang anormal? Di ba? Parang, ba't lahat na lang ginagawa yung parang it's particular sa ganitong generation, parang ang lumalabas, it's like, cancel that kind of action or cancel that kind of module. Di ba? Parang lahat na lang, parang porket sa module, ayaw di ba? Anyway, napapakita lang din yun na nagiging unethical or hindi ka nagkakaroon na parang normalize na hindi mo na internalize kung tama ba yun or mali, right? Yung parang as a person, we always tend to think how we react on a particular thing, di ba? Like, and on our culture, like for example, you're going to Batangas, and then in Batangas, the normal coffee or the kaping barako doesn't have any milk on it, okay? So, hindi ka magre-request lang na barako kape Batangas. No, it's very matapang, and I want to add some milk and sugar on it. I want to put a creamer on it, okay? It's not like to behave. Siyempre nakakaya. Like for example, you are in the resto and then you're acting like that. It's such a weird way. You're making yourself like a fool, like hindi ka ba aware na gano'n? Like, you are not aware on that particular matter. So, ayun lang, parang hindi mo na assess yung sarili mo on reacting on that or yung reasoning. Okay, so, the highest one is moral reasoning based on universal ethical principle. It's, siguro hindi natin pwedeng masabing it's on natural law. Some of us has following on natural law or na innate in our body na mag-react or to have a reason out on this one. But and this one, moral reasoning based on principle and respect and justice. Okay? Alright, yung reasoning mo, may respeto, you have a justice on it, and that one is personally internalized. So, pinag-isipan. So, for me, this one, like, tama to, yung stage 6, tama talaga to sa module 3. Kasi, yung stage 6, ito yung pinakamataas na dapat, in every action, pinag-isipan mo talaga, in-internalize mo yung intrapersonal, kung paano ka magre-react on something, di ba? Kung pinag-isipan mo, pinagplanuhan mo, and, ayun, na-execute mo ng maayos, na-execute ng tao yun. So, and then having this kind of moral reasoning is very necessary now, or parang must have now. Kasi di ba, more on the other people unethically providing sense of those, unethically doing something na like on the social media, lahat na lang ng topic, they're doing like taboos or memes or making it fun out of it. Parang hindi na nabibigyan ng justice yung ibang ethical way, like for example on this one, on this particular matter, like for example on the module, parang yung mga kids nowadays or teens nowadays ginagawa ng tabus yung mga topic, and then hindi na nila na-internalize ng maayos kung how to react on it. Okay? Alright, and then so yan, na-explain na natin yung mga stages from the free conventional, which is level 1. So stage 1 is moral reasoning based on its good or bad. And then stage 2, when reasoning makes you choose to the pleasure or yung una, stage 1, pupili ka lang sa tama o mali, yun lang, ganun lang kasimple. Stage 2, when reasoning makes you choose what brings you pleasure, pumipili ka na kung saan ka masaya, saan ka nasasarapan or saan ka natutuwa, saan ka nabibigyan ng saan nabibigyan ng kasiyahan yung sarili mo, yung pag-iisip mo, yung mentally or physically or something. And the level 2, which is the conventional. So dito papasok yung stage 3, when one's reasoning is confirming to the values of one's immediate group. Yung reasoning mo may nakakaapekto na or iniisip mo na yung halaga ng grupo na nakakasalamuha mo. And then and the stage 4, one's reasoning is set to comply the standards in the society such as rules and law. Yung meron ka yung reasoning mo naka-base na sa standard ng society. Kung acceptable ba yung ginagawa mo, and then kung nagko-comply ka ba dun sa mga nakasulat sa batas natin, sa saligang batas natin ng Pilipinas, sa lugar na ginagalawan mo. And then stage 5, so the individual now acts based on the social contract or based on agreement between two individual. Meron ka ng decision making or reasons as you all morally na nagbe-base ka na kung anong pinag-usapan nyo, na pwede ka ng kung paano ka makisalamuhan dun sa kasama mo, di ba? And then the stage 6, which is the highest of them all, is moral reasoning based on the universal ethical principle like respect and justice. And ito ay pinag-isipan, okay? So may respeto ka sa kultura, may physical aspect yung reasoning mo, and may respeto ka na sa mental ng tao, ng societal, sa historical. Yes, on papasok dyan yung culture. Okay. So reaching this stage, one is becoming a moral matured individual, free to use his or her own power of reasoning in case of moral choices. So, and not remain a creature of blind obedience to either pain and pleasure or to the demands of the group. So, kailangan, on reaching this stage, once become a moral mature individual, may kakayahan ka na or you can free to use your own power of reasoning. So, kanya-kanyang reason, moral of choices, and not remain a creature of blind obedience in your pain and pleasure to the demands of the group. Okay? And a morally matured person is morally informed and cultivate. Yeah, dun pa lang, a morally matured person is morally informed to cultivate his or her feelings so that the person will not give a childish emotion not give into a childish emotion. Di ba? To apply on this on yourself, a morally matured person dapat hindi na i-cultivate niya yung sarili niya or informed to cultivate na siya or alam niya na sa sarili niya na his or her feelings so that hindi na siya magbibigay ng childish reaction on something, childish emotion, and not to dismiss the right of feelings. Okay? Hindi nakaka-apekto sa karapatan mo magiging Parang alam mo na kung paano ka lulugar or how you decide your emotion, how to deal your emotion morally, na hindi ka lumalabas na parang isipatan, na hindi ka psychotic, na hindi ka bipolar, na hindi ka papampam, yung hindi ka attention seeker on that particular matter. And that the right feelings require a truly informed moral decision. So require truly informed, sa sarili mo, informed ka na, alam, and then yun, nagbe-base dun sa mga stages, na-apply mo, merong justice, may respect on the one's culture, one's history, one's past, one physical, one emotional, one mental capabilities, and also and so on. Okay? So step 1, determining your level of involvement in the case at hand. Okay? So sa step 1 daw, alamin mo yung level of involvement mo, kung gaano ka kalalim in the case at hand, kung anong meron doon sa kasalukuyang ginagalawan mo or sa kasalukuyang nangyari sa'yo, kung how you involve on that or nalalaman mo yung level, yung bigat, yung lalim. Establish the facts. Establish the facts. Step 2. Okay? Ibigay mo yung mga ideas na facts or facts like we all know facts is based on the ito yung pinag-aralan. So, establish mo yung mga facts na yun. Establish the facts. Bigay mo lahat. And then, step 3, identify the stakeholder. People that might be affected by the moral fabric or your decision about it. So, identify the stakeholders. Sino yung makaka-apekto? identify mo kung sino yung maapektuhan ng desisyon na yun, ng one moral reason out mo, kung paano ka mag-react ng individual, hindi lang sa tama o mali, kasi aalamin mo kung paano sila, kung paano yung magiging kalagayan nila on that particular scene. Okay? And then, ayun nga, like for example, marami tayong pagkakataon na naiisip natin na kung tama, nagkakaroon tayo ng dilemma, moral dilemma, na hindi natin, lagi natin kino-consider yung magiging, nung tao, magiging kalagayan ng tao. So, yun yung malaking factor yun. Para magawa mo yan, lahat ng yan, yung step 3, kailangan mong laging alamin. Siyempre, like for example, magde-decide ka na lalayas ka sa bahay nyo. Ito, for example, ito, nangyari na sa totoong buhay, like sa amin. Sa ate ko, hindi niya sa decision niya na ginagawa niya, hindi niya nalaman kung maapektuhan ba kami, yung mga parents namin. Hindi ba maapektuhan? Hindi ko lang sinasabi na napakabait kong bata. Like, giving my example, my sister. Pero, ayun nga. Okay? So, yung ate ko, nagde-decide lang siya ng para sa kanya. Hindi, ayun, yun. Sa magulang talaga. Like, hindi lalayas siya for 1 week, magsasagada, magbabagyo, mag-out of town, just to hindi naman kami sa mayaman kasi may work siya noon, yung call center agent na siya noon sa isang maliit lang na company noon. Maliit lang, parang hindi pa nga sure kung kung legit ba yung na yun, maliit na company na yun. By the way, before, ayun nga, balik doon sa topic na nagde-decide lang siya ng pangsarili niya, hindi niya ma-realize kung paano yung magiging makaka-apekto sa amin, ano ba yung mangyayari once na yung mga decision niya na yun. Hindi niya na-assess yung moral, yung kung ano yung mangyayari sa amin, sa kapakanan namin. Like for example, sa parents, syempre wala namang parents na matutuwang layasan ka ng anak mo na hanapin mo. Aso nga hinahanap, di ba? Syempre, hindi naman sa may nakita ko. Pero syempre, ang laking epekto na hindi mo iniisip yung mga pinagagawa mo. Yes, masaya ka. Nagre-react ka lang kasi masaya ka sa decision mo, morally, ka lang dun into that particular matter ka lang. Pero hindi mo alam kung ano yung nangyari na doon sa kapakanan ng nasa surroundings mo, yung kapakanan ng family mo. So, yun lang. Pero now, ayun nga, to give some background, yun, call center agent pa rin siya. Maganda naman yung salary. By the way, okay naman. Okay. And step 4. So, determine how the stakeholders may be affected by my decision and as to what degree. Okay? So, alamin mo yung mga, maybe, yung mga, yun nga, like, affected ba yung sa decision mo? And kung gaano kabigat ko, kung gaano ka yung level of And then step 5, identify the type of ethical issues. Okay, always identify what is before you decide what is the ethical issues including on that particular matter. Okay? All right? So kailangan mong alamin, i-assess mo interpersonally, socially, on background of it, kung ano yung ethical issue, kung anong type of ethical issues man to react or respond ng mas maayos. Okay? And the step 6, for the last one, here in our PowerPoint given by our professor, so make ethical decision that person might actually perform. Okay? Gumawa ka ng ethical decision that yung nagagawin ng mismong tao nung magde-decide or based dun sa ethical issues na ginagawa niya. So, yung ethical decision na to na gagawin mo, yun, na gagawin mo talaga, you might actually perform, that the person might actually perform. Gagawin mo based sa kung anong gagawin. Okay? Alright? So, itong make, again, first step 1, determining your level and involvement in the case at hand. And step 2, establish the facts. Give all the ideas. The step 3, identify the stakeholder people that might be affected by the moral problem by your decisions about it. Step 4, determine how the stakeholders may be affected by my decision and as to what degree. Kung gaano kabigat, kung paano sila makapektuhan, magde-decide ka kung gaano sila katindi. Kung hindi naman sila masyadong mako-compromise, yung decision mo, so maliit lang na bagay, waste of time lang na maliit na time, mahalaga ang time, pero yung sobrang onting sagabal lang, onting apekto lang sa kanila, mabuti man na makakatulong sa kanila. Okay? Identify the type of ethical issues. Always alamin mo kung ano yung mga ethical issues na yun before you morally react on it, and how before you decide on it, and as that is one needed to identify to to react on that, you as a moral agent, syempre. Kung paano ka magde-decide. And then, step 6, make ethical decision that person might actually perform. Okay? Alright, so, I think it's all done. Okay, so I hope you will you learn something from me when you watch this one, since this one is the only for our final requirements. And also, ayun nga, I know, and ma'am, dun sa prop namin, like, thank you so much for accepting all of this. Yun, nagkaroon lang ng medical issues. Pero, good. Pasensya na po talaga. Ayun, I hope you, by the way, I hope you learn something. Sana, ma-assess natin yung tanong, ma-establish natin sa